Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm over here. You guys are going to get tired of going back and forth, but I have a bunch of questions, and I appreciate you being here to answer these questions. Looking at the budget, and you talked about how you guys are stretched so thin, and my question goes to that in the sense of an area that might be not necessary any longer. So the ability for troopers to protect our casinos, that is in the gaming law, obviously, and I know that you're required to do so. So my question is, how many troopers are at the casinos at this point with, I believe, the 12 that we have open?
Thank you for that question. Currently, we have 11 troopers per casino. That's a total of 132 that are tasked with ensuring that there is order and at those particular locations. Their mission is designed to enforce the gaming laws.
Correct. Okay. And are those 132? Is a lot of the time, is it straight time, or is there a lot of overtime with those officers or troopers? Sorry.
Yeah, that really depends on the particular incident that may unfold at any given time. My sense is that the
what have you seen so far?
The majority of their time is straight time,
okay.
Just providing assistance when and where necessary to address gaming law violations.
Okay, and what is the biggest issue that those troopers deal with?
There are a number of crimes codes violations that occur on the gaming floor.
And I don't mean to interrupt, and I apologize because we're on a 5-minute time limit. So,
right.
But the ability for the largest one, what is the biggest issue that comes up time and time and time again? Because I know there's lots of different things that people who have a few extra drinks might be doing.
It runs the gamut. Okay. Just to give you a ballpark figure, in 2016, state police investigated 3,700 crimes in the casino, okay. From theft to disorderly conduct. It runs the gamut.
Okay,
quite frankly.
Most of them are fairly minor. I mean, we're not having murders in our casinos or anything like that, correct?
No, we are not.
Okay,
and
good.
Just to be clear, Representative, with the 132 figure we gave, that's just troopers. The total is 141 when you talk about supervisors.
Okay. And the ability for us, and the reason I bring it up primarily is because they do have their own security. We have local law enforcement in most of the situations where they are located, and we need troopers on the street. We need troopers to be doing the many important things that you had listed that they do. And I guess, would you support changing, and I know it's a legislative issue, changing that to allow for the locals and their security to handle it and remove those troopers and put them back on the street?
Representative, we look at this situation as working with the legislature in terms of where they believe troopers need to play an integral part in a particular industry. We do it. We have liquor control enforcement. We have gaming.
That's my next question.
My sense is there isn't anything that the Pennsylvania State Police cannot do.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's just a matter of legislatively
what is necessary,
being required to do.
And I appreciate that. And like I said, it goes back to the fact of using you guys where most impact can happen. And you are highly trained and you have the capabilities of doing so much. And gaming and protecting the casinos may not be the best use of your troopers' time. And you mentioned LCE. How many troopers work with the LCE?
I'll get that for you in a second.
Because I know the officers that go out are not troopers in and of themselves.
Currently, there are 17 enlisted troopers, basically in supervisory capacity with LCE.
Okay, and thank you for that. And one last question is, my understanding, you mentioned the labs that you guys have and you run for many local municipalities as well as obviously PSP. My understanding is those are free services that you do not charge, but one of the line items in the budget is called Crime Lab user fees, and that was an increase. Can you tell me, I just don't understand if they're free, what that line item is, if you could explain that.
Well, as I said, we do have 7
Right.
labs in the Commonwealth. We are mandated to provide laboratory services for law enforcement. In terms of the direct dollar cost associated with that, I'm not sure maybe one of the deputies can
That's fine.
share that with
And
you.
I'm not against charging the user fees. I'm just, since you had mentioned that there is no, my understanding was there was no charge, so I'm just trying to,
Yes,
Make that
Representative.
jive.
Those user fees are charged to the defendants,
oh, okay.
not to the law enforcement agencies.
Okay. And I'm very red. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.